That day, we deliver, I work from 11 in the morning to 11 in the night. And we deliver 8.5 babies. Where the half come from? No, it's not that we deliver half a baby, you know. We halfway deliver a baby. What happened, this woman was making a premature child, right? And she not had to go in the incubator. So when the child was coming out, she asked me, what is the price of the incubator? And when I tell her, she pushed it back up and said, leave him stay there.
Which show was my favorite? You know, every time you do a next show, that becomes your favorite. But I have to go back to Fernando Clark Raw back in 1995 because it was a historic show. It was the first of its kind, like what we did. We put a team together of a bunch of experts and people who are well known in their respective fields. We got a lot of people together to do that show. It was the last show in the Mullet Bay Convention Center. That's why I say it was, history. The show, I didn't know what to expect. I was not sure because I didn't see the audience. And it was the first time I was doing a performance without seeing the audience first, knowing who's in the audience. And to me, it was like the whole of St. Martin was there. So Raw, to me, was very, very special. And I think one of the favorite jokes in that was the Chinese man. Falanto, you're very, very funny fella. People love that joke. And that's one of my favorite too. And I think that show has gone down in history and it will remain in my memory for life.
The following morning, somebody called me, my phone ring, I pick up the phone, hello. I said, hello, Fernando. I hear a voice on another, hello, I want to pick up Fernando Clark. I said, Fernando Clark again. Hello, Fernando. Fernando, you're very, very funny fella. Fernando, you make a laugh, man. I like a joke about the man on the plane that lose a watch. Fernando, the man lose a watch over Calasso. You're so funny, funny, funny fella. Fernando, bye-bye.
You Too Bad was very special because I experimented a lot. There was a lot of experiment from the entrance. I came in from the back of the hall and walked through the audience, danced my way up to music until I got on the stage. It was also memorable and historical for me because my son did the opening, and he was the MC. He was one of those who brought me on. So that in itself was very special.
But I remember when he started, because some people looking at me like, Fernando, you can't be an undertaker, but if Frankie could do that, he could do it too happy. And I go, stop it. I know when he started, he wasn't so good. He started working for a guy named Long Gun. I was like, yeah. Some of the older folks know Long Gun. Or Long Gun was an undertaker here. And my good friend Frankie was his right hand. And Long Gun tell him, he said, hey, the old lady who died, we burying her tomorrow, fix her up. So Frankie fixing her up. He called Long Gun 3 o'clock in the morning. He said, Long Gun, the lady we got to bury tomorrow, we got a problem. Long Gun said, what's the problem? He said, the woman got a shrimp stick between her leg. Long Gun said, well, take it out. He said, I tried, but can't come out. He said, you better come check this out. So Long Gun come down 3 o'clock in the morning, half doors asleep already. He said, where's the body? Frankie pull out the body. So look at there. Long Gun said, where's the shrimp? He said, look at there between her leg. Long Gun said, Frankie, shame on you. You don't know the parts of the female body. That ain't no shrimp. That's her clitoris. Frankie said, oh, it tastes like shrimp to me.
has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
I went to a wake the other day, and as I walking, I heard some old ladies in a corner. Nearer, my God, to thee. Suddenly I have Vlam, take a 6 in your tail. Vlam, don't do your pass. Vlam, do. A domino game just interrupt the whole wake. My mother in the next room, she called me. I ain't answer. So she come outside. She said, you hear me call you? I said, excuse me, woman. Don't you see I'm bad? That's all I remember saying. Then I tell somebody today, I said, if Barack Obama was running in this country, they would not elect him. He would not be elected for 3 reasons. 1, we don't elect black people. 2, we don't elect educated people. 3,
which means to say that any government coalition leaving out the St. Martin Christian Party and the United St. Martin Party means no poverty eradication, because the other political parties, the NA and the UD, until now did not sign the Eradication of Poverty Declaration. We will insist to see them also commit to the cause of the people. It seems like we are not a political party, but it is we running and speaking out on behalf of the poor and the needy. During the campaigns, we heard all the political parties speaking about the needs of the people, and that they, if you vote for them, they will do what they promise you. But signing, committing, that is still a party affair. And so with that said, let's analyze which majority, which party combination will bring us eradication of poverty. For that, we have to regret that the informateurs, when they made their report, they forget about history. They left the history out of their equation. Why we say so? When you ask all the political parties and all the stakeholders what should be done to get stability in government, then you can ask all of that. But if you don't say who was causing instability in government, then you don't address the problem where it should be addressed. Analyzing all the 7 governments that we had, it was always the Democratic Party that was the one involved with breaking up of government. Instead of them bringing the stability, it was always them, the Democratic Party, that was involved in the instability, in the breaking up of governments. What does that have to say for us when we want to eradicate the poverty? Well, if we leave the Democratic Party out, then the other parties maybe have more stability to address the eradication of poverty. Why we say so? Because the Democratic Party was the one that since 2010 and before that always had the portfolio of labor, social development in this society. So if you all had this portfolio, what did you do to eradicate poverty? Nothing. Why we had to stand up and demand equal rights in the kingdom for everybody here in poverty? Because the Democratic Party did not assume its responsibility to represent and defend the rights of the people. Now, what did the Democratic Party do? They broke up the last government, where, for instance, one of the issues that we also have in the eradication of poverty was the short-term contracts. Stop the abuse of it by regulating it in law. It was the Democratic Party again that actually halted the initiative of the National Alliance, their coalition partner, and changed that initiative so that workers again fall short of that protection that was so needed before the election, but also now after the election. Especially now that Irma has been actually devastating so much of the employment possibilities in our country.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 fun mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of fun miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free fun miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, fun within your reach.
I went to a wake the other day, and as I walking, I heard some old ladies in a corner. Nearer, my God, to thee. Suddenly I have Vlam, take a 6 in your tail. Vlam, don't do your pass. Vlam, do. A domino game just interrupt the whole wake. My mother in the next room, she called me. I ain't answer. So she come outside. She said, you hear me call you? I said, excuse me, woman. Don't you see I'm big? That's all I remember saying. Now I tell somebody today, I said, if Barack Obama was running in this country, they would not elect him. He would not be elected for 3 reasons. 1, we don't elect black people. 2, we don't elect educated people. 3,
the labor department, one might say, look, is responsible, is overseeing dismissal and what have you. Why is it so critical for you as a union to see the dismissal committee be put in place?
That is an entity within the department. And based on the dismissal laws and procedure, that committee is a committee comprises of labor representative, employer representative, and independent, which is appointed by the government, but they are independent. It's a committee that will act, should act as professionals, neutral, a neutral body that would investigate, interrogate both employer and employee, and then give an advice to the department head. And in this case, the SG is the one who has the authority to sign off. The advice given, the person who is the SG can take the advice, or they could deny the request. Let me put it this way: they can accept the advice, and in doing that, they can give permission to termination, or after analyzing the advice, they can say, we deny permission, or they can put conditions as to how to apply or implement the permission if granted, and give reasons why they would deny the request. So the person who signs off, and in our case is the SG, has a tremendous responsibility. But the advice given is also important to evaluate and analyze. The committee has what you call extraordinary leverage to request, to demand information to substantiate the employer request. Not just the employer giving the information to back up his request, and then the employee who would come into the department will ask some questions, but because that is not the competency of the person in the department to go into detail, which the committee can do. That's why we insist that the committee be put in place. The committee is established for that.
Wasn't it at one point 3 persons were appointed to be mediators at the Labour Department? What happened to those persons in question?
Well, there has been an appointment of 3 individuals. The appointment of the individuals, that's there. The functioning of those individuals, and that's why we draw attention to the entity, the Department of Mediation, because the function or the functioning of the mediator, and in this case, in our view, in our opinion, there are plenty room for improvement. A mediator, in the first place, one of the criteria, well, not only in our opinion or our view, but has to be somebody with a legal background, a proper, good legal knowledge, not only from our local laws, but also international treaties and conventions that has to do with, in general, industrial relations, and in particular, workers' rights. We have the laws. It's just that we need the persons to function with proper knowledge of those laws.
Earlier on, you challenged the Minister of Labour to re-establish the dismissal committee.
Yes, because
have you spoken to the minister prior to you making your announcement today?
there are different ways and different forms, different means to send the message across. There's person to person. Technology has made it possible that you can either use a phone, you can use Facebook, you can use any form of social media. This is one of the ways of conveying the conversation.
There is
and also
to observe or take into consideration protocol as well.
Yes, all that has been taking place. And this is just a form of what we call social dialogue.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
As a very enthusiastic carnival reveler myself, I cannot begin to fathom that this Minister of Finance would stop carnival on St. Martin. And having said that, the statement that was made in the press seems to be a statement that was a rather benign statement by the SCDF, just saying up to that moment they had not heard about what the status was of the request they made of government. And then somebody embellished that by adding that Minister of Finance Ferrier did not approve or did not pay. I would like to let you and the world know that at the time that statement came out, the advice had not yet reached us. It was dealt with yesterday afternoon, and I believe it was exactly 5:05 that the Prime Minister hit the gavel and said, we have approved 350,000 guilders for Carnival 2018. Now, I'd like to just remind all those that budgets of a country have to be ready the year before it goes into effect. So the request for the financing of Carnival for this year should have been in since last year. There is an issue with regards to the requirements of government. Government needs to see what has been done with the funds of the previous year to be able to continue for the next year. The financial statement, the financial year of the SCDF finishes on the 31st of December. So they cannot provide us with what we need, which is information on how they spend the money of the year before, until sometime in the year that they need the new one. So we have asked the SCDF to take into consideration to change their financial year, to have it end in the middle of the year. So in other words, have it run from July 1st to June 30th. That gives them time to complete whatever financial statements they need to provide us with in time, so that we get it in time so we can deal with the subsidy. Now, granted, as government also, we know that every year there is Carnival, so every year we will be asked to provide the subsidy or some kind of help. But in other words, for us to be able to work well with each other, we need information timely, and at the same time, government needs to go through the processes after it receives the information it requested. So every year it's going to be late unless we move up our time, the time of reporting. But I'm pleased to tell you, we will not stop Carnival.
Some 350,000 guilders have now been approved to see Carnival moving forward this year. Taking into consideration the fact that Hurricane Irma dealt such a devastating blow to St. Martin, can you tell us as to where this money is coming from? I mean, amendments were supposed to be made to the budget. Where exactly is this money, 350,000 guilders, coming from towards Carnival?
The request was originally for 500,000, and like I said, every year government knows that Carnival is a repetitive celebration. So in the budget, of this year of TEAT, of the Economic Affairs and the tourist office, tourist-related items, it has been taken up. So it was taken up in the budget, not the 500,000, but 350,000, and that has been foreseen for. So this was foreseen. We knew it was coming, and we took care of it.
Together with the ministry, I have also made sure to include priority funding for mental and overall well-being of our students, our teachers, for instance, and also to ensure emergency funding for the temporary housing needs for the library, repairs for the Fort Amsterdam, and funds for retraining and vocational education. In addition, I can also inform the press that I'm very satisfied that the urgently required completion of 4 additional classrooms of the St. Maarten Vocational Training School can start shortly after an enormous delay due to the passing, of course, of Irma and additional unforeseen circumstances related to the previous contractor involved. As mentioned, I believe 2 weeks ago in a press briefing, I've mentioned that I have the support of the Council of Ministers to have consultations with the insurance company for the government, and we've had our first meeting, which was very productive, fruitful. We've had positive outcomes in the sense that we should sensitize all schools, sports facilities, cultural organizations to ensure that they update the policy in collaboration with us. In return, the insurance company will also see how we can make further improvements to what we have in our policy to ensure that it best serves the interest of the schools and sports and other facilities such as the library.